Have you ever felt yourself shrinking inside the very story you poured your whole heart into? That moment when you look at a relationship and a painful truth rises up. The more you speak, the quieter they become. The more you give, the colder they grow. The more you try to hold on, the more invisible you feel. And you whisper to yourself, "What am I doing wrong? Why isn't my sincerity enough?" But deep inside, beneath the noise, your soul is calling out a truth your mind keeps avoiding. It's not that you're wrong, it's that you're overreaching into an imbalance. You're trying to fill a cup that's already cracked, and every extra effort only makes the water fall through your fingers. This is where transformation begins. The moment you step into stillness and into detachment. In Stoic philosophy, this isn't withdrawal. It isn't failure. It is the highest act of reason. The courage to stop forcing what was never yours to hold. Detachment is one of the greatest treasures in Stoicism, yet one of the most misunderstood. Many people fear the word detachment. They hear it and think, detaching means being cold, distant, uncaring. But no, don't confuse them. Today, let's uncover the truth about detachment and see how to turn it into a superpower. Are you ready? Let's begin. Part 1. Recognizing the illusion of control. Stoicism teaches us a simple, brutal truth. Control what you can, accept what you cannot. Most of the pain we carry in relationships comes from trying to control things far outside our reach. 1. The fixer trap, the healer you never meant to become. In an unbalanced relationship, you often slip into the role of the fixer. You believe that if you just love hard enough, stay patient long enough, sacrifice deeply enough, you can somehow change their emotions, their behavior, their effort. You stay up late, crafting a long message, explaining everything, analyzing every wound, pouring out every feeling, hoping they will finally understand and change. You hit send, and what comes back is a short reply, cold and distant, or worse, silence. And there you are, lying awake the entire night, waiting. This is where you break the Stoic rule of control. Seneca warned us, do not let what belongs to others disturb your peace. What you cannot control, their reactions, their emotions, their will, their inconsistency. The result? When you place your peace, your sleep, your focus, your sense of worth into someone else's hands, you voluntarily step into anxiety and pain. Trying to heal someone with your presence isn't love. It is an unconscious attempt to manipulate an outcome, so you can feel safe. 2. Accepting reality as it is amor fati. Stoicism doesn't teach you to avoid the truth. It teaches you to embrace it, even when it hurts. Maybe this relationship was beautiful once, but right now, it no longer aligns with who you are. And the truth is clear. They don't value you the way you value them. Emotion and reason collide. Emotion whispers, if I stop trying, I'll lose everything. All my effort will go to waste. That is the fear of loss. Stoic reason replies calm, steady. What will you really lose? A relationship that demands you sacrifice your peace? Losing that is not a loss. Losing yourself while trying to keep someone else, that is the real tragedy. Accepting this imbalance is the first rational act. It's the moment Marcus Aurelius reminds himself of the impermanence of all things. Everything changes. This relationship has changed, and it's not your fault. It is simply the nature of life. Part 2. Stillness, the discipline of quiet strength. Stillness is the bravest act a Stoic can take in the middle of an emotional storm. It is not a tactic to make someone come back. It is an inner discipline that pulls you back into your own self-authority, your autarkeia. 1. Stillness is not weakness, the courage of not doing. In our world, silence is often mistaken for giving up, for retreat. But Stoic stillness is active. It demands far more strength than arguing, explaining, or proving yourself ever could. True stillness looks like this. 1. Stopping the reaction. Not rushing to reply just to soothe your anxiety. Not explaining yourself when your feelings have already been dismissed. 2. Stopping the chase. Stepping out of a race where you were the only one running. 3. Stopping the fixing. Realizing you cannot patch the emotional fabric that has already torn. Instead of checking your phone to see if they viewed your story, you put it away and use those 30 minutes to read, to exercise, to journal. You choose what you prioritize, not what you depend on. Stillness is the moment you reclaim control over your responses. The most valuable asset any Stoic can possess. 2. Stillness as the mirror within. When you become silent, peace is not what arrives first. What arrives is emptiness and a heavy, restless anxiety, because you've grown used to filling that void with someone else's presence or your own endless effort. But that void becomes the soul's mirror. Prosoche, the art of deep attention. It reflects everything you've sacrificed. How many warnings you ignored just to avoid being alone. How many genuine feelings you swallowed just to keep the peace. How many core virtues, self-respect, honesty, you traded away just to be accepted. Stillness forces you to face the compromises, the self-betrayals, the small deaths you endured. This is the step where you rebuild your self-worth, not from their validation, but from your own inner strength. 3. Stillness as the mirror of the external. Your silence also becomes a cold, honest test of the relationship itself. It breaks the energetic frame you once held up. In every relationship, there is always a frame, a quiet current of who leads, who follows, who sets the emotional tone. And when you chase, you place yourself below. You hand over the authority to define the connection. When you choose stillness, 1. The frame flips. You stop trying. You pull back your energy. You let go. Instantly, you are no longer beneath them. 2. The dynamic shifts. They were used to the comfort of being pursued. Suddenly, they must face the void your presence used to fill. They must ask themselves, what's happening? Why did this person stop? Your silence carries a message louder than any explanation. I withdraw the permission for you to treat me with disregard. And this forces them to adjust their frame, to confront your true value, now that you're no longer there, trying to prove it. Part 3. Detachment, the art of loving without dependency. Now that you've had the courage to practice stillness, to stop chasing, to stop clinging, what you gain is detachment. And this is one of the greatest treasures in Stoicism, yet one of the most misunderstood. Many people fear the word detachment. They hear it and think, detaching means being cold, distant, uncaring. But no, don't confuse them. Detachment is not indifference. It is love, practiced with discipline. A Stoic knows this well. Detachment means you care, but you do not depend. You still hold compassion. You still wish the other person well. But your tranquility, your inner stillness, is no longer tied to their reactions, their moods, their inconsistencies. Detachment is the power to stay in a relationship without letting that relationship define your worth, to stay connected without losing yourself, to love without sacrificing your dignity. One of the most liberating gifts of detachment is how it destroys the illusions you built around the relationship and around who you thought they were. You begin to see clearly. 1. The convenience user. The person who only wants you when you're easy to control, easy to access, or when you're supplying their emotional needs. Once you withdraw your unconditional giving, they drift away. 2. The virtuous partner. The one who genuinely values you will step closer. They become more intentional, more attentive, because they see your worth, and they fear losing a connection that's real. This is life's most profound filter. Detachment separates the one who loves you from the one who merely loves the way you love them. You stop chasing a fantasy, and the truth stands before you, clear as daylight. Now that you can clearly see those people for who they are, you begin rebuilding your boundaries. Boundaries are the physical expression of self-respect, one of the highest Stoic virtues. And with detachment, you begin reconstructing the inner walls that protect you. Time boundaries. You no longer abandon your responsibilities, just to wait for a call that may never come. Emotional boundaries. You no longer accept sudden outbursts or silent punishments. You realize, I am not a container for someone else's instability. Dignity boundaries. You stop explaining your worth, because anyone who truly values you would never demand proof of it. By defending these boundaries, you are safeguarding your inner citadel, the fortress Marcus Aurelius spoke of, the place within you that cannot be touched by anything or anyone outside. Part 4. Stoic practices for a wounded heart. The journey of stillness and detachment is a deep healing, a return to yourself. Recessus in se ipsum. 1. Silence as the soul's medicine. When you stop pouring your energy outward, you finally have enough light to see within. Stillness becomes the room where your soul can recover. And inside that quiet space, you relearn the simplest yet most essential truths. 1. Learning to breathe. Breathing without fearing an unanswered message. 2. Learning to exist. Existing without needing someone to confirm your worth. 3. Learning to self-nourish. Finding joy that doesn't depend on another person's attention. Joy that comes from finishing your work, from a morning run, from a warm cup of tea. 4. Learning to love again. Realizing you once accepted crumbs of affection out of loneliness. And finally promising yourself that you deserve something whole, something worthy. Journaling. Write down what you feel and how you act during stillness. Ask yourself, what exactly hurts? Is this within my control? If not, what is the next virtuous step I can take? 2. From the fear of loss to ultimate freedom. After practicing detachment for a while, something extraordinary happens. You no longer crave the thing that once broke you. What you thought was love was fear of losing them. What you thought was connection was dependency. What you thought was care was merely their habit. When you reach euthymia, inner calm, truth shines through like daylight. You no longer need that person to feel whole. Your inner home has been rebuilt, steady, grounded, unshakable, and then it hits you. Detachment isn't losing someone. It is finally finding all of yourself. 3. Becoming the unshakable. 1. Someone who has walked through stillness and detachment emerges as a true Stoic warrior, stepping into an entirely new state of being. You no longer chase. You no longer try to impress. You no longer confuse fleeting attention with real love. And you will never again trade your tranquility just to keep someone from leaving. You are no longer the one waiting to be chosen. You are the one who chooses. You become the source of energy, not the one depending on it. And here lies the most powerful truth. When you become self-led, when you become unshakable, you naturally attract connections that are genuine, mutual, and built on respect. Conclusion. Stillness and detachment. They are not the ending of a chapter. They are your return to yourself, your homecoming. In life, you will meet people who make you lose your way. People who dim your own light. People who make you forget your worth. But those painful experiences carry the most precious lesson. 1. Real love never asks you to shrink. 2. Real connection never demands that you lose yourself. 3. Real appreciation never requires you to prove your value. Stillness allows you to see these truths. Detachment allows you to live these truths. And the moment you free yourself from the hunger for validation, you step into a kind of freedom no relationship can ever give, and none can ever take away. Detachment is freedom. Detachment is maturity. Detachment is the hidden superpower of every soul that has learned to rule its inner world. When you rise into this new version of yourself, calmer, clearer, steadier, you don't just survive life, you begin to shape it. If this journey resonates with you, if it speaks to the part of you that's ready for a higher life, remember to gently support the channel. A like, a subscribe, a small action, but it helps this message reach more people who need it. And now, before you leave, I invite you to take one small step of commitment. Comment below just a simple vow. I choose stillness. Let that be your first declaration, your first promise, on the path of becoming unshakable. Thank you for watching.